So for this question, we have a table. Our data is organized into a table. So I'll start by reading the question. The question says that the table shows relative frequencies of campers who hiked and who did not hike, and whether or not they got a poison ivy rash. Which statement is true? So before I start looking at the answers, I want to determine whether or not I have an independent or not independent event. So we know that it's going to be independent if the probability of A given B is equal to the probability of A. So let's remember our formula. I'm going to write it in blue so that you can refer up to it quickly. So the probability of A given B is equal to the probability of A and B over the probability of B. All right, so let's identify what A and B are. So let's look at our chart. We're talking about hiking and getting a rash. So we're looking at the frequencies of campers who hiked and who did not hike, and whether or not they got a poison ivy rash. So we want the probability of did they get a rash and did they hike. Okay. This right here are the people that got a rash and hiked. So that's both. That's the probability of rash and hiked, A and B. The total number of people that hiked, we've got to add these numbers together. That's 0.7. And the total number of people who got a rash, we're going to add these numbers here. So I've identified the numbers that we need from the table. So let's go ahead and substitute in now. The probability of the rash and hikers is 0.56. Probability of hikers is 0.7. Divide those with your calculator and you'll get 0.8. Now if we look at this, 0.8 is not equal to 0.61. So we know that they're not independent. So if you go through your answer choices, this says are independent. So we're going to mark that out. We have this identified correctly, this identified correctly, but we need not independent. So our answer choice is going to be B. For this question, question 9, there are 8 black socks and 10 green socks in a drawer. In the dark, Robert pulls out a sock and puts it on his right foot. Then he pulls out another sock and puts it on his left foot. So we're taking something out and we're not replacing it. What is the probability that Robert has 2 black socks on his feet? So we'll look at the first draw. How many total socks does he have to choose from? 8 black and 10 green. So he has 18 total socks. And in the first draw, he has 8 black socks to choose from. I'm going to go ahead and reduce that by dividing the numerator and the denominator by 2. And I'm going to get 4/9. Now on the second draw, remember we've taken one out, so we have one less sock. We have 17 socks, and we had 8 to begin with, but we've taken one of those out. That gives us 7 black socks remaining. So we multiply 4/9 times 7/17, and that's going to equal to 28 over 153. All right, so the way that we did that is we took the total number of socks, that was 8 plus 10. Okay, that gave us the denominator. We took what the desired outcome was as the numerator. Simplify if you can. Okay, and then once you remove that item in the second draw, you've got to remove those from your selection, and that reduces each of those numbers, numerator and denominator, and then multiply the fractions. This question says that a pond is freshly stocked with 8 brown trout and 16 lake trout. The first fisherman in the area catches and releases a trout. He catches another trout a while later. What is the probability that the fisherman caught lake trout each time? So this is important right here. We're not going to reduce the total amount or the desired amount because we're putting the fish back. So on the first catch, we have a total of 8 plus 16 is 24. And our desired outcome is a lake trout. We've got 16 of those. All right, now he puts it back. The next time, the probability is going to be the same, 16 out of 24. We don't reduce that because he tossed it back. So we multiply 16 times 16 for 256, and 24 times 24 for 576. When we reduce that fraction, we get 4/9. And of course, you could have reduced before you multiplied, if that makes it easier for you.